Mamba out.
Saucy, yeah, bitch, I do this often. My bitch is bad, she always in office. Don't got a tags, I'm running my body. Can't see the pads, I'm living too fast. With 20, my dash, I'm up, but I lost him. He wanna brag, I emptied his bag and took what he had. Don't care what it cost him. Then he broke, he turned to a hoe. I seen him before, the shit is exhausting. Ran on a hoe, I wanna be known. The stage of my soul, you ran even more. So already been broke.
This is Sports Now with Darius and Nate. Today we're coming to you with another amazing episode. Today we'll be discussing what happened to Lamar Jackson. All coming up in a couple of short minutes. So obviously we know that Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens have recently lost a playoff game to the Buffalo Bills. It was a disappointing game in a way where I thought he could do more. I thought that Lamar Jackson could escape the narrative of Cam Newton 2.0. I said it openly on the show that I don't believe that he's Cam Newton 2.0. I looked Darius straight in the eyes and said, this guy is different. This guy can do something that no other quarterback has done. And from what I saw last night, I am sorely mistaken and sorely disappointed. What I saw last night was a horrible injury that was extremely avoidable and could have been avoided in a sense when we saw it play out. We know it could have been avoided. I understand that Lamar Jackson has a big future coming up for him, regardless of what happened on that night. I understand he's going to get paid a substantial sum of money, but Darius, I want to hear your take on what just unfolded.
Well, of course.
What are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson?
Well, of course, the events that occurred on Saturday with that horrific loss by the Baltimore Ravens to the Buffalo Bills. Of course, it was unfortunate, but it is a learning experience. I believe it's a learning experience for the Baltimore Ravens now. If you're asking the question, what does Lamar Jackson and the Ravens need to change on the opposite side of the ball? I believe Lamar Jackson's number one focus has to be efficiency and the accuracy of throwing the football. And it's not about how many times you do throw the football. It's about one thing and one thing only, and it's accuracy. Look, Aiden, I looked at the entering stat today. Lamar Jackson was first in completion percentage to his running backs. Lamar Jackson was number one in completion percentage and targets in his MVP season to running backs and tight ends, but he was ranked 20th in completion percentage and targets to wide receivers. Now, I know, Aiden, I have a lot of love for Marcus Hollywood Brown, but let me just sit up here and say that he is most definitely not a number one wide receiver yet. He's not a number one wide receiver yet. And the Ravens, I believe, they should have worked on the deal with Antonio Brown during his so-called suspension because, Aiden, he wanted to be there. He wanted to be able to Lamar Jackson. He stated wide openly, and he stated that he wanted to be able to Lamar Jackson. He wanted to be
the organization didn't want Antonio Brown within 500 feet of Lamar Jackson. He thought he's shown that he's been bad for business in some ways, and a young, impressionable quarterback such as Lamar Jackson, he would have a bigger mental impact on the state of the team. And I think that the situation with Tampa Bay is better for him because there are a lot of leaders on that team, specifically Tom Brady, who's a quarterback with more experience and a little bit older in the sense of the way. It wasn't anything towards Antonio Brown's play as a player. It was all towards his attitude off the field.
Yeah, but right.
In the locker room.
Right, but even though he has some problems, look, Lamar Jackson needs that type of number one type of wide receiver in Antonio Brown, a talented wide receiver, but literally a capable, durable, and available wide receiver in Antonio Brown. Now, I believe that Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, they may need to take a trip down to Buffalo to see what McDermott has done with Josh Allen, or they should take a trip down to Arizona and see what Cliff Kingsbury has done with Kyler Murray, because they seem so comfortable in the pocket. And you see that Josh Allen's literally, he should be ranked third in MVP, but guess what? Lamar Jackson is already MVP. So they need to figure out what Lamar Jackson needs to do as primarily a passer. And guess what, Aiden? The Baltimore Ravens in the offseason needs to either target Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay. In the
trade for Julio or Calvin.
No, that's too much to ask for the teams they're targeting if you want to go for Julio Jones. But in the offseason, they need to target either Allen Robinson or Kenny
Well, I mean, Allen's going to cost you as much as Julio because it's free agency.
or either Kenny Galladay in this offseason. Excuse me. They need a consistent number one wide receiver. I don't believe Marcus Hollywood Brown is that number one wide receiver. I mentioned that earlier, but they need a number one wide receiver like Robinson or Galladay. That's a playmaker and a game changer, right? And it is on the Baltimore Ravens front office to make sure that they can surround Lamar Jackson with quality talent. Even though they've slightly done that with Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown, Des Bryant, and Willie Snead.
Mark Andrews is overhyped extremely. I'm not as high as him as I'm as high as on. Don't take this personally when I'm talking about Mark Andrews, but when Zach Ertz is healthy, he's way above Mark Andrews. Travis Kelce is way above Mark Andrews. George Kittle, when healthy, is above Mark Andrews. Austin Hooper, when healthy, is above Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews isn't really, truth be told, a special talent to me at the tight end position.
Well, he was a special target for Lamar Jackson in these past couple seasons. Now to Lamar Jackson, do you? Don't listen to anybody who's saying you need to be a pass-first type of quarterback. Do you? It is on the Ravens front office to surround you with talent. Do you? You can pass the ball. We've seen it this season. He has a 99 QBR rating. Even though to some that doesn't matter, that's still a high-quality stat for a quarterback of his caliber who is a former MVP and a Pro Bowl and a Pro Bowler. And it's the future of this league. Lamar Jackson, do you? And it is on the Ravens to surround you with talent. And Aiden, if the Baltimore Ravens don't get either Allen Robinson or Kenny Galladay, it is going to be a disappointment. It's going to be another year of the Ravens getting knocked out in either wild card round or the divisional round. Being good in the regular season and being terrible and abysmal in the postseason. That's all I got to say.
Right. Obviously, there's some other things in between that trade. I think the defense, in a way, the defense is phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but I have to make a quick claim right here, right now, and it might be a bold statement to some fans. It might be a common statement to others. Patrick Queen is not it at the linebacker position. I didn't think he was it coming out of college. I think he was overhyped and overestimated due to his association with the LSU Tigers football team when they won that national championship and won it in such a dominant way. I think he got overrated because he was a part of that amazing team. And because he was a part of that amazing team, it, in a way, boosted his draft stock. I think that they need a real game-changing linebacker. When they lost C.J. Mosley, they lost a phenomenal player. And although our look upon him has changed drastically since he's gone to New York, I still believe that C.J. Mosley was a promising young linebacker in this league and could have helped him in many different ways. Now back to the Lamar Jackson situation. Lamar Jackson is up for a big deal coming up. I understand that everybody says, oh, yeah, they have – Lamar Jackson has a fifth-year option, right? He's number 32 overall. He has a fifth-year option. Lamar Jackson doesn't want that fifth-year option. He wants a big deal. He wants a massive deal. He doesn't want Patrick Mahomes' massive deal because they're not that kind of – it's not that level yet. It's not that level yet. Although he's an MVP and does deserve whatever money he does receive, he's not at that level yet. I'm thinking for Lamar Jackson, he deserves Deshaun Watson money. Maybe even Carson Wentz money. Right? I like him at the quarterback position. There are just some flaws. Now, to address the situation on Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown was the number one guy on the most dynamic offense in all of college football. There is no doubt in my mind that he can become a number one wide receiver. He was the number one guy.
But he isn't now. He's not a number one wide receiver. And then he was in college. But on the
Development takes time. He was the guy. Need I remind you, which I probably don't because this is your Dallas Cowboys guy. He was the number one guy over CeeDee Lamb, D.D. Westbrook, and Marvin Mims in an offense that had two Heisman winners in back-to-back seasons in Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. There's no doubt in my mind that he can become that, but he's not that yet, obviously, as Darius stated. I don't think, though, that you need to shell out big-time money for Robinson or Galladay, knowing what you have at that position can become something. And especially after the deal you're about to give Lamar Jackson, I don't know if they have enough space. I don't know if they have enough cap space, right? I know this is my team and all, but not everybody's LA. Not everybody can turn off cap in Madden. It's not always possible. Ronnie Stanley had a massive deal, right? Marlon Humphreys has a massive deal. Marcus Peters is probably going to want a massive deal. You gave a deal to Calais Campbell, although it might not be as big. It was more of a team-friendly because of his age. Still money. Don't get me wrong, I like Allen Robinson and Kenny Golladay. I like Robinson more than Golladay. I think Galladay's not a, how do I put this? I prefer Allen Robinson because I've seen what he can do with hell of a lot less. I've seen Kenny Golladay with Matthew Stafford when they were just tossing it up and they weren't a good team at all. So if you're going to pay a guy to me when I'm the Cardinals, you pay Robinson without any hesitation over Kenny Golladay. That's my look on the situation, Darius. You got any final words?
This is on the Ravens front office. Found Lamar Jackson reliable. Targets. Hollywood Brown is not a number one wide receiver yet. Lamar Jackson, do you? We know what the Steelers can do. They neutralized Derrick Henry in the wild card round. I believe he only rushed for 46 yards that game. So that defense is kind of stacked. The Ravens do have potential to have an AFC Championship appearance or maybe even a Super Bowl appearance in the next couple of seasons, but only if the Ravens front office can find him reliable targets to surround him with. That's all I got to say.
Well, thanks for joining us here on Sports Now with Darius and Aiden. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.